Hello everyone, my name is Rick Pusick, the Fly Fish Fanatic, and welcome to my tying bench. Today, a little pulling fly, a little dabbler, bumble type, you'll see. It's a older school European British style pattern. It's got a lot of Irish influences, Scottish influences, British influences, so it's just one of those older style flies. It's a little bit of my interpretation of it, but great little flies. I know we don't use them a lot here in at least Western North America, but they work really well. I've been using them for quite a few years here in the lakes, and they work well. So let us go. And the vise today, Hens BL254N, size 8, 10, 12. That's what I tie these in. Thread, Semperfli Nano Silk in black. For the body, I'm using some Dirty Bug Yarn by Semperfli in black. For the rib, some Semperfli 0.2 mil silver wire, bright silver. For the hackle, I'm using some, this is Whiting's, just a brown hackle. For the front hackle, I'm just using some black hen hackle. Oh, and for the tail, piece of just the from a pheasant, right? The chest fibers, I guess it is. Okay, let's get her going. A little bit of wax right off the bat onto my thread. Make sure it sticks to that hook. Don't want to build it and then it all falls apart because it didn't bind to that hook. I know there's a few guys out there that like putting just a dab of crazy glue down first. I'm not a fan of that myself. Because I don't like crazy glue. Getting it all over my fingers, and I'm a bit of a klutz and stuff, so I get stuff all over the place. So, okay. Come back here, and I just right here, right just past the tip here, I like building just the slightest little bump with my thread, but I mean slightest. Now come forward. I'll take the fluff off of my feather. All the stuff I definitely don't want. Then I will just take this whole feather and I just fold it down and use this. I'm going to use this whole thing as my tail. So and I want it about as big as the body, so pinch it here. I'm going to go back to where that bump is, right there. Pinching wrap. And that looks not bad. I do want a fairly long, like not crazy long, but I definitely want a longer tail on this one. I'm just going to just loosely wrap this up. Cut that off, leaving my space for my front hackle and stuff. Again, back over top, just making sure it's tied down nice. Take my wire, tie that in all the way back. Just get that, keep that out of the way. Come forward again to that tie-in point. Take my. Now the nice thing with this Dirty Bug Yarn, if I can actually untwist it, and I can take, and yeah, I don't know if you can see that on camera. Yeah, you can there. Untwist it and make my body thinner if I want to. It depends on the size, so you can actually untwist this stuff and use it on smaller flies. Don't shy away from it just because it's a little bit thicker. Like I said, you can definitely easily untwist it, and then you'll get a thicker body or thinner body. So now I'm just going to twist it up just a little bit just to keep it tight, and touching wraps, touching wrap, touching wrap, touching wrap, all the way forward to about there. Tie that off. Okay, Just going to put a few more wraps in to make sure that that's all tied in, which it is. Now I'm going to take my hackle and I'm going to figure out roughly where I want. So about there, the length of it. Just going to nip that off, clean off a bit here so to expose the stem. Wax my thread. I just want to make sure I get a good grab on this hackle. Shiny side or the colored side out. Tie that in really well. Oh, see there. One thing you have to be aware of with any of these GSPs nano silks, they cut fairly easy when you pull too hard. So depending on the materials, you gotta make sure that you don't pull too hard on them. So then I'm just gonna fold that stem back, catch it in. Then at least one full, I like doing 2 full turns right at the front. And then open it up and come back, palmer your way back. I like a fairly thick palmer on these. Grab my wire, hold on to your hackle and your wire, go through, catch in that hackle, come forward through, right to the front there, catch that wire in. Don't worry about a few of those stray hackles there. We'll take care of those in a minute. Hold your thread, helicopter off. Just gonna stroke those back over top of it a bit there. If you feel confident, you can just pull that off. I like cutting it off. I know that these are fairly strong, so I don't want to pull anything out. Okay, my hand hackle here. Strip off all that fluff. I don't want the fluff in the fly. Okay, and I'm going to tie this in by the butt on my side. Just make sure that's all tied in nice. Again, don't worry too much about any little fibers that are sticking forward. We can take care of those when we get to that. Just do a little half hitch just so, for me, so I don't bump off the thread as I'm twisting here. Now I'll get my hackle pliers, whatever kind you like. I really like these are from Stonefo. These ones here got a bit of a spring on them. And then there's another pair from Stonefo here, and these you just pull and they just grab. So it's up to you which ones you like better. Depending what I'm using, I use both. This time I'm using the first one with the spring. So there, pulled a little too hard, which is fine. I'm just gonna untwist that because I don't want to build too much of a head up. So I'm just gonna untwist what I did when I put on this hackle. Just gonna expose that again. I'm going to put a little bit of wax on just to make sure I hold this in a little bit better. Not sure if that was not held in right or if that was it just broke. We'll see. If this one breaks again, I'll grab a different feather. Could be brittle. It happens. Just stroking back my materials right up against that brown hackle, right tight. And then right tight against that last turn. I like doing at least 3 here. It depends on the feather. I'll do one more. Depends on how the quality of the feather and how thick the feather is that you're putting on. So again, don't worry about what it looks like. Now I'm stroking it all back. I'm going right up over top of that. I want this stuff I want it to splay back, right? So Not too worried about that piece right now that that I was holding on to with the pliers. I'll get that in a second here. So now I'm just going to do a whip finish, 3-4 turn whip finish. Pull real hard. Now I will go and find that little butt section there. Just pull that off. Make sure I like just giving this a bit of a push back with my thumb. Get that stuff all out of the way. Hold everything out of the way. Just zip it quickly with my lighter and make sure I got no strays in there. I'll get a little tiny bit of my Gulf Thinman. Just put it right directly onto my bodkin here. Just so I can have a little bit better control of putting on my resin here. I want it to go on nice, but I don't want it in that eye, obviously. And if it goes a little bit onto the feather, it's not a terrible thing if it's just a tiny bit, because it'll help keep that that front wing swept back. So I'm just going to give this a zap. Now I tie these in multiple colored combinations with brown hackle, black hackle, green body, black body, all kinds of different stuff. Even the tails, I change it up, but I really like the yellow in the tail. It's just one of those hot spot attractors, right? It just gets the fish attracted to that area, and well, that's where the sharp point is. That's where you want it, right? So there you go, finished little fly. Not terribly hard to tie. It takes a little bit of playing around with the hackle and stuff. You get to learn if you haven't done a lot of tying with hackle. It will be a little bit of a challenge for you. But other than that, these are great little flies. Great for pulling, great for chucking and stripping, especially lock style. They on a team, they work really well. If you can't use a team, that's fine. They work as well. I've used these in British Columbia where you're allowed only one fly, and they work really well. So, alrighty. Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. It's a little bit different, and I hope you are enjoying the channel. Please leave some comments on what kind of flies you guys like to see me tie. We have hit actually quite a bit over 2,000 now. I've been pretty sick with COVID, so I haven't had a chance to do much with it. I will be in the next month. I will get I've got all my prizes all put together and stuff, so I just got to get all the names put into a random generator and do some giveaways. So I've got anybody that's subscribed is going to be in the giveaway. So if you want to be part of that, there's going to be materials and swag, hats, buffs, all kinds of stuff from Semperfly and hens and renomed and a bunch of other stuff. So alrighty, tie lines everyone.